Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, June 22nd, and Mark and I are here. We are so delighted you're joining us, and what we are doing is answering your questions that are about your life, but maybe they're also about your, I don't know, like your money, but maybe it's a bigger issue than that. And if you find yourself having these conversations, I'm wondering if it might be helpful for you to give us a holler, and so we can help you work through some of the questions that are bubbling up. And, you know, you never know when something's going to bubble up. It could be just a random conversation. Who knows? Anyway, we are open for business 7 days a week. JillOnMoney.com. You can go to the Contact Us button, click it, write your note. And if you do want to come on the program, check the box. If not, we do email episodes. Today is one of those email episode days. So the subject on this one, catching my attention, Mark, do I have enough to retire early if I want to buy a new home? So I think it's very funny because it's like, maybe I was sort of about like, yes, maybe not. We'll see. All right. So this is what Lena says. I'm a burned out marketing professional. I want to take a break or retire early. Here's a question. Do I have enough money to do this? I'm single, no kids. I turned 50 in July. Paid off home, that helps, $460,000 in value. Cash, $275,000. Almost $1 million in brokerage account, which is, you ready for this? In Apple stock. Massive capital gains. And then another almost more than $900,000 in a 401k. 100 is Roth. Okay, at age 65, remember, that's 15 years from now, small pension, almost $2,000 a month. And then Social Security, about $3,000 a month. Expenses are $5,000 to $6,000 a month, but that's because I pay a lot in taxes. Wow, Mark, $350,000 is salary. Anyway, she said she thinks she can get by on $4,000 a month. Okay, you ready for your questions, Mark? I'm going to have you actually answer it. Number one, can I retire early? Number two, can I afford a new home in case I have to take care of aging parents? And that new home would mean the paid off home, $460,000. She'd have to spend about $500,000 more for a total of $1 million. Okay. And then she'd have that house. So I'm going to answer the easy one. Can I retire early? I think the answer is an unequivocal yes, that she can. What do you think about the new house, Mark?
I agree with you on the first question. Yes. The new house, that makes things a lot more complicated. That's $500,000.
Oof, really complicated. I don't think she can do that. And because there's two things. One is either you're soaking up the liquidity from the brokerage, or you're taking on a mortgage, which then pops your expenses up. Can't you rent something? Greg sends a note. He says he spoke to us last year about early retirement. And he says, I opened a brokerage account as you recommended. Unfortunately, my significant other had some medical issues, and I had to stop working to care for her. The gory deets. I'm 54, retired military, free medical, house paid off, truck paid off, no debt. My pension covers all of my required expenses, but I had like about an extra $1,000 a month for pocket money. I've got $160,000 in a 401k, $70,000 in a brokerage account, $45,000 in savings, $10,000 in company stock, $15,000 in some vacant inherited land. Social Security should be $1,400 a month at age 62. So he says between now and Social Security, right? He's 54 to 62. He says I can cover my need. Should I put my savings, sell the land and stocks in the brokerage account? I'd keep $10,000 in savings either way. I assume I'll only pay tax on the capital gains in the brokerage. Yes. I don't love him spending all this money down, Mark. Makes me a little nervous. So he needs $12,000. So here's the deal. Definitely sell the land. Sell the company stock. Now you've got that $25,000 added to the savings, right? So now instead of, you have 70 in a brokerage and 70 in savings. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I was thinking about seeing if he can potentially use the brokerage and whatever he sells, if that could get him to, 59 and a half, and then instead of draining the savings, he can start then using his 401k.
Yeah. And then pay on, he's going to have a lower tax bracket, but he's not going to go I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You're close, but I am somewhat concerned that you plow through all of your money, your liquid money. So maybe if it's possible, so we've got to have 6 years. We have to get $72,000, which, I mean, he would pull out, he basically would get rid of, he'd use all of his savings. He'd have to sell some of his brokerage and savings. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about this plan, Mark. I'd like to know more about you, but I'm a little bit worried about it. I don't think this works perfectly. If you could go back and work part-time for a couple of years, that makes it work. That's what I would say. Eileen wants to know about long-term care. And she said, I have been thinking about getting a life insurance policy that has a cash indemnity long-term care benefit plan. It's $5,200 a year for 10 years. Has a 3% inflation protection rider. You can cancel any time, get half your money back. Death benefit of $60,000. Husband and I are both 52. We plan to work for about 5 more years. Our financial advisor said we'll be able to retire in 4 years. We have no debt. They have $800,000 in a 401k, $300 in a Roth, $100 in a traditional IRA, and about $40,000 in cash. They make $150,000 a year, and they put $30,000 into their Roth and 401ks. Expenses are $60,000 a year, and our combined Social Security should give us about $6,000 a month, and hers alone would give them $3,500 a month. My financial advisor believes this would be a good move. He is suggesting that we bring down the percentage going to the 401k to cash flow the cost of this inflation-protected long-term care / life insurance policy. Mark, what's your opinion on this?
The advisor is saying they can retire in 4 years. They live on $60,000 a year. Where are they getting $60,000 a year at 56 years of age on basically $1.2 million?
I would have that was my number one thing that I thought. I think that what the advisor might be saying is this. I think the advisor is saying if they work for 4 or 5 more years, they can spend down some money, I guess, they don't have any non-retirement assets really. You know, they have $40,000 in cash. I don't think that this makes sense to me. First of all, who is this advisor? Is this an insurance salesperson? Is it a fiduciary? That's number one. Number two, I don't even think they really need long-term care benefits. What I think they need to do is work. And I think they need to work till they're 59 and a half. And then I think it works. Here we have from Brenda. My husband and I are both 60 and we'll retire at 67. Finally, some sanity out here. We both have annuities from work upon our retirement. Husband is a union employee. She's a federal government employee. She has a thrift savings plan account, totals about $210,000. He has a prudential retirement account for $150,000. Here's the question. Should we draw on one of these accounts? Because they're 60, they can take the money out. And so these are pre-tax accounts. Should they pull the money out and buy the car, or should they go for a loan? Now, the question is very interesting because it's not some nasty car loan in the commercial market. They can get a loan for 4%, maybe because she's a government employee. 4% car loan or pull money from retirement account. I'm going for the 4% car loan. I don't want to pay tax on that money right now. I'm going for the loan this time. They're going to work. They'll own the car. It'll be fine. Okay. Hi, Jill and Mark. Your podcasts are ones I never miss. Thank you for this easy-to-absorb information. This is from Anita, who's 65, single, with kids completely launched. Anita says, I relocated 2 years ago to an expensive area, and that was to be closer to her kids. Anita bought a $750,000 house. Listen to this. This is the quote. However, I went nuts and did renovations that have since brought the total far beyond what the house is worth on Zillow. I plan to stay, but probably not forever. Classic mistake, by the way. She makes $70,000 a year. She has a $750,000 house. She says she's going to keep working until she can claim Social Security at age 70, and that will be $3,000 a month at that time. She's got a bunch of money saved, $2 million in an IRA, and a third of that is Roth. Because of the initial spending on the house, I've depleted my cash and brokerage accounts. So for the first time ever, I'm no longer contributing to my workplace 401k. My employer will put in 10% of my salary each year, regardless of contribution. That's good. I will not vest for 2.5 years. Question 1. Am I correct in focusing completely on rebuilding my liquid assets? Yes, you are. Question number 2. I have no debt except for monthly mortgage, 2.75%, a 30-year loan, a car lease of $300. I plan to buy that 3-year-old car off the lease. So question 2, should I finance for 3 years or pay in full? I have to know what the financing is. I might pay this one in full, by the way. We'll see. 70 grand income. She probably doesn't have a ton of flexibility. I have to see what the payments are. She's been converting $20,000 of traditional to Roth annually and had planned to do so until 73. Question 3, is that a good idea? I wouldn't do that anymore. Would you, Mark? Even you?
No, not now.
No more conversion right now. I think, yes, rebuild your savings. Fine to pull back on your retirement. I don't know about this car loan. I mean, the car lease that turns into a loan. I guess that if you had a loan that you could pay $300 a month for, you're used to paying that. But if it's like a $600 a month number, then you're not going to feel happy about that. All right, that's it. That's the show. It's exciting, isn't it? If you've got a question about your priorities, what you should be thinking about moving forward, how to manage your financial life, how to make a big change in your life, like I kind of wish we'd heard from her before she did this big renovation, but maybe we would have said go for it, but maybe not. So if you're contemplating some major decision in your life that has some sort of financial implications, Mark and I are here for you. This is why we love doing the program. Just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. Let us know if you want to come on the air live with us. See, this is when we get to ask you all those follow-up questions that are so much more fun to do in person. While you're on the website, sign up for the free weekly newsletter, buy my book, The Great Money Reset, and don't forget to subscribe to our news service, Jill on Money Live. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars. Next week, we have our big webinar with Dave Stachowiak. Anyone who has a job, anyone who works actually should be tuning into this. He has such great advice for workers, for managers, for owners. He's got a ton of great ways of expressing what I think are really tough issues in the workplace. So I think Dave is so well worth it. $35 gives you access to quarterly live webinars for the next 12 months. And also you will get bonus content like interviews with really cool people. So check it out, all at JillOnMoney.com. Don't forget, leave us a rating and review on Apple. Still matters. Still matters. Put your hands metaphorically on someone's back. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.